Hey there, Libra. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, click that subscribe button and ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, give us that big thumbs up, like and share. Share with your peeps, share with your friends, share with your family. Help us get this word out about Joy of the World, because these are energy sessions geared at helping you level up and be your best, most bright, beautiful, bold self, making our world a better place for you and for me. Thank you for your donation that you have sent in. I have many new card decks that have shown up to help us have a more creative, instinctive look into what is going on in our lives and the world around us. And also, if you missed me and wondered where I was, Hurricane Sally came trucking on through, knocked our power out, and it made it impossible to upload any videos. So I just took the moment off so that I could regroup and step back in for you now. So this week they're calling it a one-card wonder. Hey, check out the Magic Monday if you need to know. Now, those reads are not just for Mondays, and the Freaky Fridays aren't just for Fridays. They're an extra read every week for you to tune in and check out. Okay, so what they did is they talk about a one-card wonder, which we're going to work on right now. It's one tarot card, but they're also bringing in supporting influence of a Pluto card and a Mars card. So both our power and our empowerment to help us bring in the shift in energy that we have going on. Okay, so let's see what we've got going on here. 10 of Swords, talking about completion. Time to be done, time to be ready, time for the angel choir to sing. And what are they singing? The Hallelujah chorus. Libra, you were like, Hallelujah, it is finished, it is finished, it is finished, da 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 da. You ready to be done with what has been working you over. You're like one and done, because that was no fun, and I'm not stepping back into this ever again. I was tricked. I was lured into a mirage, a fallacy of falsehood, of a false identity of who I was, and I got trapped there. Couldn't get back out, and I've been trying to find my way ever since. But the magician power seems to be showing up in this card as well, to bring you through and out from the depths and the deep of self. Very much it's talking about, it's like this eye of the hands. Interesting. Well, no wonder why a pit man came out. So when I was cleaning and clearing the decks and getting it ready, because I don't like to shuffle on camera a whole bunch, you know, I'll rifle through to get the card, but that's about it. Well, this had already come out, and what is wild is it is the Joker, and it came out upside down. You're like, no more fool. I'm going to paint it my way. I'm going to let the world see who I am and how I see my world. I am creating this construct of who I am, and that's stepping into the power of your divinity, of owning yourself. And that's like you making the alignments of like the flux capacitor, of you setting in your sights and your guides into what it is that harnesses you and brings you forward and allows you to present yourself. You're saying applicably. So for some of you, that might be according to a job, right? Some of you, online dating is how to present yourself through the sign of air, through the sign of communication. And that takes a great bit of harnessing of energy. First of all, knowing who you are, know thyself, right? And being able to express it to another where they can conceive what it is that you're trying to communicate and get across. Very impactful. I like that. So Libra, we're going to get a rune, okay? On your 10 of Swords and what you have going on here. So some of you check out the last Monday read, because again, they're not about that Monday. They're just an extra energy read. And being that they're timeless, they're potent whenever. What are you cooking up? What are you cooking up? So anyways, let me do the deep dive and get those babies back. Okay. Bit like your life going on too, that just as there is much to gain, there was much that you had to lose, you had to shed and to clear away. It's almost like who was it? I forget which master artist, but they were talking about, being that we're looking at artistry here, right, and how you divine your life, and they asked, how did he chisel away the marble into the sculptures that they were? And he said it's perfect. He just took away everything that wasn't the object that he was trying to carve. So let's go on through this and get a rune. Some clarity here for Libra about this divining, this knowing thyself and being able to perfectly communicate it. And that doesn't mean like, oh, no flaws. That means to be in the flow and evolution of oneself and knowing yourself and being able to progress and move forward in the ongoingness. T-I-O-N, shun the ongoingness of yourself. But anyways, back to last Monday's read, it was about butterfly spirit coming in to save you. So you had a lot to say and you're like being stubborn, okay, which makes sense because the bullhead right here. Some of it is the tenacity that got you through. So I would say let's shed a little bit of that because there is a bit of excess. Remember, there's gain, but there's also the shedding, the loss, the losing, the passing on, the moving on. But loss can still be gain. It makes room for the entrance of a new energy to come in. And that bullheadedness, that tenacity is kind of standing in the way of the conversation of the runes right now. So let's see what it is with clarity. All right. Parting of the waters. Parting of the waters. So we ended up with journey. And that's interesting because that's what we were talking about. Going in the TION, the continuation of self. All right. So we have journey. Communication, reunion. Let's see if I can read this all backwards. Perfect union. Remove resistance. Let go of the past. Is that not hilarious? Remove resistance, that bullheadedness, some of that tenacity that got you through it by sheer will, sheer force of power, raw force of power, that you didn't so much care how it turned out. You just cared to get through, to break on through the other side. But this is letting us know to remove that resistance and let go of the past. So to be able to fully like extract yourself from it, it's almost like paper dolls. Like it would be torn out. There were punch lines and you would just remove all the paper from around the image. Just like the marble carver, just like the Joker, the Fool here, the artist, the magician power that's showing up. How do you see yourself now? How do you redefine yourself? There's nothing wrong with you. You're nothing flawed there. But how do you take it and you leverage it to move it forward to where you feel good, you feel happy, you feel empowered, you feel knowledgeable and connected to yourself, and nothing that makes you go weak in the knees. It might make you a little giddy, a little bit like, oh, but then you step on forward into whatever this is. So let's get a moon oracle for you guys, okay? Let's see about this letting go of the past and removing resistance so that you can enter into that perfect union. And this is all talking mostly here about a more perfect union with yourself, knowing yourself and not being divided, not selling yourself out anymore, which Libra can do. It makes sense that instead to be the post that unites the scales as opposed to being played and playing yourself, all right? Y'all talked about that before, doing away with that energy. So let's see what is behind this. Number one, okay. So going from the Fool into the self and the knowledge of self. It's like taking time to rest and to recluse, to shut your eyes, not to draw away, but when you do draw away, to make it private. When you do draw away, turn off your phone, turn off your TV in your bedroom and in your private space. Give it that sacred space to where you can truly exhale through out of your skin, out of your pores, out of your body, out of your spirit, mind, and soul. And listen as the stars begin to breathe and speak over you. For some of you, take a little stargazing time, spread out a blanket in the evening and rest under the stars and just let your mind open up. Let your eye open up. Let you talk about the eyes of your heart open up and soften again, to be receptive, to be connected to this love of self. So this is called Dark Moon, the Void. And it's what to do on the space in between, right? The space in between. And that old conundrum, that old mirage that lured you in, it now that you're walking away and you're leaving it behind, it's left a space. So what I know, there was this ancient parable and it talked about the one who put their house totally in order. They sent out the negative spirit and put their house all in order and they felt good about it. Well, the spirit went out wandering, and being that they couldn't find rest or refreshment anywhere else, went and got 7 of its strongest friends and brought them back, and they took the house back over. So it's not just about cleaning and clearing, y'all. It's about filling, okay? Because if not, there is a vacuum, and a vacuum desires to be filled by the sheer nature of it. The void desires to be filled, and it is not selective as to what it's filled with, okay? That's how a lot of this came about, the suction, the need, the greed. You can think of that. Greed is just anything that's in excess of who you are. It's having too much. It's weight. It's burden. It's worry, okay? It's those type of things. It's not all just cha-ching, okay? So let that go on in there to see how quickly you could just get out of scope and off balance. So the moral of that story is when you clear out those energies, when this mirage, this false oasis dissipates and disappears, and you step forward and you become the post that unites yourself and you stand in your oneness, then you need to fill yourself with love. You need to fill yourself with appreciation for who you are. And that doesn't mean, oh, thank you, Joy. You're so great. You're so this and that. No, it could be, I'm funny. It could be, I'm shameless. I don't so much care if I make mistakes on these videos, because really it's about connecting with you and keeping it real, keeping it moving forward so that everybody has access to the purity of the channel coming in here. And not purity like, ew, nothing marred. No, just the innocent flow of it coming in as is, raw. Okay, they're saying raw and refined. I'm like, that made me stutter for a second. I'm like, "Rrr." So if you watch my bottom lip back up, that's what was happening. So let's find out a little bit more about this dark moon, the void, filling the space with love. Okay, and with that, we're going to step into the Pluto card. So this is the Black Tarot, and it's representing our talk of Pluto today, of how Pluto is filling this void in your life, empowering you, bringing in, I see it, the creative force to reinvent yourself. That doesn't mean changing who you are. That reinvention is allowing the new energy to come in as you pass the old out. It's going to have a whole new look, a whole new feel. When somebody reinvents their house, it could just be painting the walls, getting different shutters, different shades, maybe some new amenities, and it looks like a whole different house. Can you see what I'm saying? So it's not to change who you are, it's to express yourself as who you are right now, and the vibration of yourself right now, and all that you've been through and where you're at, what uplifts you and empowers you and emboldens you to feel bright and to be able to step forward as your whole self. So here with Pluto, we have the Eight of Cups, and it's really talking about striving, leaning in, pressing in to do that last leg of the race, but really all it is crossing that finish line. It's a mental determination that I see coming about here, that you are setting out to receive your reward, and I like that, Libra. Once you're no longer playing around with these teeter-tottering energies, with negative forces, and that means people that suck you and bring you down, trying to entertain or engage in those type of energies, no longer doing that. You have this clarity and sense of self of where you come from, therefore you know where you're going, and you are pursuing that reward. We are rewards-based people. We do it for the love, we do it for the journey, right? But here it's that clarity. It is removing the resistance and letting go of the past that creates that more perfect union and knowledge of yourself. And in that is the rewards, because I see an Ace of Swords showing up in this. Ask me how. It's just there. But it's like being able to write and invent yourself on a blank sheet of paper. When you clear things away, you see who you are. And as you begin to envision and imagine, then begin to flow in the action of that. Begin to flow in that perfect union, which the perfect union is the cycle of the self, going from potential into actual and activating it and stepping and walking in that. Okay, now with Pluto, we get a credit card on it to clarify. Let's find out a little bit about this reward, where we're coming from, where we're going for Libra. Thank you. Ooh, baby. You're in the valley of the gates. You're like, ooh, I have choices. I'm like, yes, you do. Actually, you have them all. You don't even have to choose. This is empowerment and embodiment of who you are in all your fantastic nature. And being able to not let knowledge or learning be a block for you anymore. That's very much what Pluto is talking about here, because that can cause some stress and chaos in your world, as opposed to it being enlivening and enlightening you and sparking off creativity and new ideas, which is why it's even put there in the first place. It's not like lessons learned, I hate this, da-da-da. No, it's being able to pull it all in into the synergy of one, make it mine, in me, take it into yourself, let that love fill you, and let it exchange you. Let it renew you, like the shedding of the skin of the mighty snake. But that cuts on your sun, on your solarness, and on your radiance, and it begins to fill the pages with the words of life from you. It flows out naturally in your exuberance. It exudes from your very soul. So with that, we're going to step into Mars, which are what the pit men are doing here. Take a look at that cosmic world. A whole new world. Okay, so let's see what we've got for Libra. In this whole new world, I see you in the gates of the Valley of the Sun. Interesting. I love it because it looks just like that, the Valley of the Sun. Here you are on the inside, all warm and cozy. You're like, it's perfect temperature. I got the hot tub and snow falling from the ceiling. I have exactly what I want, because my own passion, my own fire afford me the luxury that I so desire, afford me this connection, not just with others, but with myself. Inside of myself, I am satisfied. And I love hearing that for you, Libra. Absolutely love it. But this environment sets up this cycle of perfection, this full connection going on here. The triune divinity and the return to self, the return of self. So that is the full mastery and completion, the coming into being, into the navel, into where you come from, into where you're going. Look at the reiteration of these circles, of these ports, of these portals going on here. Isn't that fantastic? Can you see it? I hope you do, Libra. I hope you just go bask and enjoying that hot tub you got going on there inside your fine self, being lit up by your own passion. I'm glad you're starting to fall in love with yourself, Libra. Ha! Remember, leave your comments down below, friends. Let me know what's going on the other side of that camera, even if it's just to share a good laugh at all this ridiculousness. It is okay with me. Give it a thumbs up, like, and share. I love you. Talk soon. Bye.